Hello, and we are here again to present another title this week. It's one of the graphic novels from Centauria. Centauria has a very vast graphic novel list, and here with me we have Francesco Matteuzzi, Giovanni Scarduelli, and Balthazar Pagani. And thank you everybody for joining here today. And we start immediately with the presentation of Mark Rothko. Balthazar, can you give us an overview of the title, please?
Hello, everybody. And yes, for 2 years with Centauria in Italy, I have been working on a graphic novel series dedicated to the Greek painters of the 20th century. It is a series that is having excellent editions also abroad. Here I would like to mention the beautiful edition of Kusama or Pollock made by Lawrence King, or Klimt and Basquiat made by Hachette, among others.
Why Rothko?
Well, Rothko cannot be missing from this series, of course. This is a series in which we have already more than 10 titles, and an exceptional painter who created a brand new visual language like Rothko really cannot be missing.
So now I'm going to ask you again a question, but I would like also Francesco to join into this conversation. Why did you two decide to collaborate specifically on this title?
It was a long time, really, since I wanted to work with Francesco, of whom I love the ability to write very cinematographic scripts. And I think that this one you will see is really like a movie in graphic novel. I love it very much.
Francesco?
Well, I read a few of the books that Balthazar edited for Centauria and enjoyed them. So one of the first things I did when I came into contact with him was sending him some of my books. He liked them, or, well, I'm reasonably sure he did. And we started talking about working together. I suggested some topics to him. He did the same to me. And, well, at first we couldn't seem to be able to find the right subject, but I guess it was just a matter of time before we did. And then Balthazar said something like, "What about Mark Rothko?" And I think I thought about it for like 10 seconds, and I basically started writing right away. It was just what I needed, I guess.
And what are you trying to represent?
Well, I tried to condensate Rothko's whole life in this book. Not an easy task, since over the years I learned that writing biographies is a risky job. You have to respect the truth about what really happened, and at the same time, you need to write a story that the reader can actually enjoy, because, let's be clear, most of people's lives are boring when you tell them. So I decided to add a frame to the story in which a very young Mark Rothko meets and fights with his grown-up self, pointing out his personal evolution as well as his artistic development. So basically, it's Rothko himself, the one who comments about his own life. And ironically, I think this adds some truth to the story itself.
And now we go to the actual illustrator, Giovanni. And Balthazar and Giovanni, how did you get to work on this title together?
With Giovanni, I have already had the opportunity to work on our first graphic novel, of which he created wonderful illustrations, and really Rothko could only be done by him.
Yes, we were in Lucca last year for Lucca Comics and Games, and I was doing, as Balthazar said, a signing session of Edward Hopper, which is my first graphic novel for Centauria with Sergio Rossi. And Balthazar at the time came to me and said, "I want to work with you. again. And then he proposed me a new book on Mark Rothko, which is one of my favorite artists. And it's crazy because at the time I was reading Mark Rothko writings. So I said, okay, Balthazar, that's fine. Where do I sign? And so it began. It took 8 months, and I think it is one of my favorite works so far.
And
Mauro, sorry, it's important to say that the drawings I'm scrolling now are without balloons because the work is now in, we are doing it, so there are no balloons, but of course, in the final version, in each page, you will have balloons with text.
So it's work in progress.
Yeah, this is a work in progress.
And Giovanni, what style are you trying to give to the book?
As Hopper, as I work on Hopper, I think the whole process of doing this kind of graphic novel is a compromise between my style, my comic book artist style, and the style of the painter. In this particular case, due to Rothko's style, I was more free to find mediation. And according also to Balthazar and Francesco, we decided to clean my style because I used to be very dirty on paper. You can see it on Edward Hopper's book, and go for spot colors. So I used a thin brush for the inking process, which helped me to give back the texture of the brush on canvas, like Rothko's works. And then I used spot colors to give back again the idea of the colored field, huge masses of colors.
Wow. Well, I have to say, I mean, the graphic novel series for me is actually one of the best things I have in hand, and that is actually one of the reasons for me as a salesperson that made me actually say yes to this list, because it's just an extraordinary series full of talent, both at level in writing and illustrators. So it is me that actually have to say thank you to you for doing these wonderful books. To everybody listening, I have the info sheet, I have the cover, I have the material to show, and all you need to do is to contact me. And again, I would like to say thank you to Balthazar, thank you to Giovanni, thank you to Francesco, and have a lovely day.